Hey guys, Scott here. Man, it's been a raw day. Look, we got splash water mountain here, water mountain runoff. Oh my God, it was a raw day. For the amount of time that we spend up here in the super cold, but just being damp, it's everything, man. It is just a bitterly cold day. April, whatever. So here's the deal. Lots to talk about. So the first problem was the fuel filter got clogged from this tank, okay? And inside this tank, there was foam. It's supposed to be there. It's like a safety foam as well as a slosh inhibitor. I guess it stops the slosh. If you look down in there, drop the phone in there, that'll be great. Drained it out. Got to take the cap off and remove all the hardware to get the foam out. So I got to order new foam for this if I want to put new foam in. I talked about moving this cross member last time. I really don't want to. It's not going to gain me that much. I could change the whole setup and have it stick up through the bed slightly, and you'll always see it. That'll give me a little more capacity, maybe go a little bit deeper. But I don't think I'm going to mess with it. I like where it's at. Big trouble today was getting this fuel gauge to work. Okay. We got the old line going along the frame rail there. It was spliced into the original tank wire, which was a tan wire that I traced under the car. Okay. Man, them springs are new. Almost took my shoulder out. So, quick run the line up here, this red wire. Tucked it inside there, okay? It's messy. I know this is not my type of work, but I'm going to come back after it, and I'm going to figure out a way to route these wires neatly. I just wanted to get everything working again from where I had it. But the real business end is inside. Okay. So we talked about fuel gauge not working, right? So I come in here. What a disaster, man. Take off all these wires. I'm sorry, take off all these screws. Pull the gauge cluster out. The guy made it better than when I had it. I remember getting in here now that it was a little hokey. He did the best he could, getting it to tighten up. Some of this stuff is little plastic clips and things are all specialized. You got to spend extra money to buy them. Sometimes you get away with just using certain types of screws. It's not the right way to do it. But the gauge works. The fuel gauge was never landed on, the fuel wire was never landed on the gauge. It just wasn't hooked up. So I traced it out and I landed the correct wire. And it works. It's 0 to 90 ohms. But now this RPM gauge was a problem. Okay. And also, you got to make sure these indents are right with these shift indicators. The RPM gauge, it's a pretty gauge. It's clear right now. There it is. These are like smart gauges. The tach has all these different settings. That you could adjust things, and the mile per hour, there's buttons down here that you have to wire in that he must have did. He did a nice job with that. The RPM was set to the wrong setting, so the RPMs weren't cruising correctly, which is weird. The other thing I'm noticing here is that the battery voltage is showing all the time. I wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing there. No, it must be where it's resting because all the battery cables are off. So that's just where that gauge must rest when it's off. But everything's working. It took probably all morning. I would like to start it up and give it a run, but I got no fuel. I drained all the fuel out of the fuel tank, so that's where we're at today. A little bit of an update. I got some Trex decking, like I had said yesterday. I'm probably going to just cut this Trex down, get these gray pieces out, and redo what I did last time with the Trex deck. And then maybe shop around for a fleet side bed. Thinking about it. It'd be cool to have the square body with the square bed. I don't know. You guys let me know if you like the step side or not. Also, point of conversation. How do you guys feel about the patina trucks, man? I mean, I like an original patina truck. Nobody can argue with that. A clean truck from the period. But what do you guys feel about like a faux tina? I've done it once before. Came out all right, but then I got a little crazy. I started putting like stars on it and skulls, and it got like out of hand real quick. I think it was during COVID. I went through a little bit of a skull depression. I was doing skulls. Thinking like maybe it would be a good idea to talk about a paint job. I got a nice door here I want to maybe use. Maybe find another GM door, get a GM fender, and then I could do a complete finished painted truck. Or do I do this patina finish, man? I kind of like the rough edge, especially being on a dirt road. I keep saying dirt road. You know, to have a nice truck, this is what you end up with. Just trashed. So it might not be the game plan to go completely finished up on the hill here. I can't wait to take it out and take you guys for a ride. I'll set you up on a dash, and we're going to do a rip. I want to get like a GoPro camera or something. I got to do these gaps, man. They're driving me nuts. If you push this in to make this gap smaller, this gap is huge. You can't get the door far enough in to get this gap shut. When I had a factory hood here, it looked better. So the factory hood is a little bit different than these LMC hoods. Maybe they're making way for like some kind of body filler that you got to do to these. They're giving you room to fill it out. I don't know. That's a big gap. You know? My pinky's disappearing into it right there. And this side, you know, it's always been tight here when I got these fenders on. It's tightish. And then it opens up a little bit. But it's close to where it needs to be at the door. So I need like a professional body guy to go through it, maybe. I probably took it as far as I could. Anyway, let me know what you think. Those are new, what are they, new vintage USA gauges. I like them, man. I mean, they're pretty sweet. Let's see if this tachometer works good when I get some fuel back in it. Probably tomorrow. I don't want to fill it back up until I decide if I'm going to be putting the foam back in or not. Foam don't get you home, man, if it clogs the filter. Remember that. See ya.